Hey everyone, today I want to share a formula for a body moisturizer. This formula is beginner friendly. There are only a few ingredients in this formula. You can replace some of the ingredients I used. This formula makes a body moisturizer that is not too heavy, not too thick, and not greasy. The consistency is not as dense as a body cream or emulsified body butter. It is not as light as a milky body lotion. It is something in between. This formula contains a water phase with distilled water, glycerin, gum, and allantoin. An oil phase with a carrier oil, butter, cetyl alcohol, and emulsifier. And a cool down phase with a preservative and fragrance. Even though the formula does not contain many ingredients, the final result is a creamy, silky, hydrating, and not heavy body moisturizer that can be used day and night for all skin types. I started with the water phase. I added xanthan gum and vegetable glycerin to a heat-resistant beaker. Creating a slurry by mixing the gum and the glycerin. Mixing glycerin and xanthan gum before adding water helps prevent the gum from clumping. If you want to replace the glycerin with another ingredient, you can replace it with propend oil. On the website, you'll find the formula with a calculator to adjust the amount you wish to make. To the slurry, I added the distilled water. The last ingredient in the water phase is allantoin. Allantoin is known for its skin-soothing properties. Allantoin has limited solubility in cold water and requires heat to dissolve completely. This is why we add it to the water phase and heat it in a double boiler on low-medium heat. If you don't have allantoin, you can skip this ingredient. You will need to adjust the formula and add the amount to the glycerin. After adding the allantoin, I covered the water phase with aluminum foil to minimize evaporation. You can also scale your water phase before heating and after removing it from the heat, and calculate the amount of water evaporated during the heating so you can add the missing amount of water. Now for the oil phase, I used cottonseed oil as a carrier oil. You can use other carrier oils such as sweet almond oil or sunflower oil. You have more alternatives in the written post. For butter, I used mango butter, which you can replace with shea butter or cocoa butter. The moisturizer will be thicker and slightly greasy if you use cocoa butter. Next, I added cetyl alcohol. This emollient adds a silky texture to the product and also helps stabilize the emulsion and add some viscosity. You can use cetyl alcohol or sterol alcohol instead. I added the emulsifier in the oil phase. I used lemon-cream emulsifier, which has emollient properties and adds a creamy texture to the product. You can use other emulsifiers such as emulsifying wax NF, Montanov 68, or Olivin 1000. Consider that each emulsifier has different properties and results in different consistency. I placed the water and oil phases into a double boiler for 15 minutes and stirred the oil phase now and then. While the two phases are heating, I prepared phase C, which is the cool down phase. Phase C contains the preservative. In this case, I used Cosguard and also the fragrance. If you have sensitive skin, you can skip the fragrance. Fragrance can cause irritation, so it is best to avoid it. If you skip the fragrance, add the amount to the carrier oil instead. After about 15-20 minutes, I removed the water and oil phases from the heat and combined them. I used an immersion blender for 2 minutes to emulsify the phases. Now it's time to let the emulsion cool down. When the emulsion had cooled, I checked the pH. If you need to adjust the pH, you can add a few drops of lactic or citric acid solution. pH between 5 and 6 is fine. More information on pH adjustments on the website. I added phase C and stirred to combine everything. You can use a pump bottle or a tube container to store the body moisturizer. I used a syringe to place the moisturizer into tube containers. Using only a few adjustable ingredients, you can make your own body moisturizer that has a great creamy, smooth texture and is not greasy. This formula is on the website with all the information.